Hi everyone, welcome back to the Denied by the Crossbar podcast. I'm your host Daryl, and I'm with Nick again. How you doing, Nick?
Yeah, not too bad of a result last night. Yeah, a bit dampening, but hopefully we can get back to winning ways on Sunday.
Yes, it was a bit of an annoying one last night. Me and Nick was at the was at Craven Cottage last night to see Fulham lose 1-0. Let's just go straight into that match, bro. The atmosphere was good. Shame about the result though, man.
Yeah, I mean, the first 15, 20 minutes we were sort of all over West Ham, but all over just possession based, not in terms
Shots on
of
target or anything, yeah.
attacking the goal or anything like that. I feel that Marco Silva put out a real anti team last night.
But you did say
Starting
that's probably because of the FA Cup on the weekend though, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think both you got to prioritise both fixtures. And look, as much as we all love Tom Kearney, Fulham fans all love Tom Kearney, that wasn't a game that he should have started yesterday.
Right.
Iwobi on the wing, I don't understand that one. Iwobi should be in the middle. I just I just don't understand it. He took Raul Jimenez off and put Maniz on.
But that's when you start getting crossed into the box. We discussed this at the game. That's when you start getting crossed into the box. So who do you want at the end of them? Not Muniz, bro. Jimenez. But you've just taken him off.
Exactly.
It was quite odd, that one, you know?
Yeah, for me, I still feel that Jimenez had another 10, 15 minutes left in him.
I thought he was
Berger,
playing well. He was holding the ball up well, getting on the turn, passing it off. I thought he was playing well.
yeah,
Probably the first time I've seen him live, and he looked really good. I know he's getting on, but he looked really good, though. He was involved in the game, not just goal scoring, coming short, picking it up, pinging it, and making runs. I thought he looked really good.
100%. And this is what people fail to understand, that Raul Jimenez is more than just your striker who will get the ball and score. He will build up, he'll hold up the ball, he'll build up the play, he can win the ball back, he can also defend at times as well. Leno, what are you doing, mate? Like, come on now. He's running out. Like, and him and Bassi are basically, I don't know what they were thinking. Leno's sort of like, I don't know, he's gone like that with the ball, and Bassi's like run away from it, and then they've gone on to score. All Leno has to do is keep some composure, use his brain, and we draw that game. So we've
Yeah,
lost again to a relegation fodder. And do you know what? The only thing that Fulham are doing this season is being consistently inconsistent.
we've been saying for about 2 months now. Leno's a weak. He's been a weak point for you lot this season. Whereas he's been only one of your strengths. I think I brought it to attention a few months ago when he kept on getting beat at his near post. You remember? You won
Yeah,
the game, but and we said, mate, near post. You have to at least save near post. If it goes far post, fair enough. I think there was 2 games in a row where we got beaten near post, and you're like, come on.
no, yeah,
Your
he
area.
cost us. It was Everton and Man City.
That's
Everton
right.
he cost us,
Yeah.
and Man City he cost us. We've not kept a clean sheet for a very long time. I love Leno, right? He's
Been good for you. He's been good
one
for
of
you.
my favourite keepers over the last few years. But in such a short space of time now, he's starting to really aggravate me. The distribution, he's screaming at the centre backs yesterday, but he's not kicking the ball out. He's not getting the build up starts from the goalkeeper. There's no good shouting at your centre backs if you've still got the ball in your hand.
Mm.
They're only going to run on your command. You're not commanding. He's literally standing there with a ball. For me, I don't want to see Leno in goal on Sunday against Southampton. I want to see Lecomte. Leno's distribution's horrific. You see it last night.
It was
I
terrible.
have
No
I have
passes,
to
how
watch
bad it
that.
was.
I have to watch that week in and week out, and I'm sure many Fulham fans would agree with me. As much as we love Leno, he's not exempt from any criticism. But Marco Silva yesterday, he's got to take the rap for that.
Dodgy subs as well. You talked about Castagna coming on. Very strange, that
Yeah,
one.
why are you bringing on Castagna when we're trying to chase a game? Like, we played the second half yesterday, we played like, I can only refer it to when you're lagging on pro clubs and you're trying to string a couple of passes together, and you've got that one guy who's really good at pro clubs, and you're playing with a bunch of amateurs. That's the only way I can describe it. We just allowed West Ham. We made West Ham look like prime Barcelona last night. We just allowed them too much respect. We allowed them the ball. It's a game we should be winning.
I think Chris have had a really good game because, like you said, every time we got the ball, we looked at each other and he was just getting it, and he had fan look up and run. Sometimes you want to see him when he gets the ball, he was in the game, get him straight away. But every time he got the ball, he managed to turn, look up, get his head up, and play off, and that was disappointing. I thought, you know.
And credit where credit's due. West Ham were good last night, and so were their fans. And I think sometimes the 12th man spurs you on to win. Fair play to West Ham. They went out and done what they needed to and won. And at this current time, Spurs are losing. So the results are looking good for West Ham at the moment. They just need to keep sort of replicating it. But in terms of Fulham, we're sort of now stagnating as a mid-table club. I don't know. It's really starting to wind me up a little bit. I think we need to progress, and the owners are not spending the money. And here's my theory, as I was saying last night to people in the stand afterwards. If we don't spend some money in the summer, what will happen is we'll end up like Forest. The Forest has spent money, right? But we will end up not spending money and we'll be in a relegation battle if we don't improve the team. I'm not saying we need to go out and spend hundreds of millions of pounds. We just need the right signings. Like your Brentford, your Palaces, they're all making adequate signings for reasonable amounts of money. And we're going out and we're spending, astronomical amounts on players. And half the time they don't even become good. It's just starting to grate on me a little bit. It's great we're back in the Prem now. It's great we've been solid for a few years, but now it's time to go up the ladder. And I just think last night's result is just, well, whatever chance we had of getting Europe, I think it's been well blown out of the water now, and that's it.
Okay, before we leave this, you're saying is terrible. We know that at the moment. Give me off the top of your head, signing goalkeeper, reasonable price, realistic that you can say, look, place him.
Why not? Why not go in?
He's not the one. I don't think he's the one, to be honest.
No, I mean you could look at an older head and you could go for someone like Matt Sells. Would he come? That's another question.
Forest stay up. Is he coming to you though?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Or you spend big again, and you go in and you get James Trafford from Man City, and you can mould him. James Trafford's a very young keeper, and I'm sure one day he'll probably be, the successor for Jordan Pickford for England. At this current moment in time, I can't really think of many keepers off the top of my head who I'll bring in. I'll have to have a more in-depth sort of analysis of it, but James Trafford's one for me.
Okay, fair enough. West Ham obviously got a good 3 points last night. On Tuesday night, it was Wolves defeating Liverpool 2-1 with a late winner. Wow, that's all I can say. Wow, that's two big victories. Obviously, it started a few weeks ago when they drew with Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. They came back from 2-0 down. They came to the draw. They beat Aston Villa last week. They beat Liverpool this week. I'm going to say it. Wolves can do it. Wolves can pull off the great escape, bro. Wolves can pull off the great escape. Wolves fans, let us know. Can you pull off the greatest escape ever? That's going to be it's going to be massive. What do you reckon? I've been impressed, bro.
I mean, they could do, and do you know what? If they do it, it'll be even more of a greater escape than what Fulham did in years gone by with Roy Hodgson. So I like Wolves, I really do. I like their ground, I like their team, I like the bat, I like the kit, I like the players they've had over the last few years. Yeah, I think Wolves is a very sort of historic club. And
yeah.
I quite like Rob Edwards. I liked his passion when he was running up and down the touchline when they beat you guys in the last minute. They deserve it. I think they've deserved the run of form that they've had over the last couple of weeks, especially considering how bad the season's been for them. I think if they'd have started this a couple of months ago, they probably wouldn't even be in this position. It's not a case of, Wolves squad is bad. They just haven't spent any money, and they haven't, they didn't really recruit that well in the summer, and that's why the way they are where they are in the league.
But you know what? They did actually spend money. They just haven't spent money on established players. So a lot of the players that they have got, not okay. You're trying to replace Cunha with a 21-year-old up and coming player that might be in 1 or 2 years' time develop into a really good player. But they haven't spent the money on, like genuine quality or who's already there. They got rid of Enta Nouri, one of the best left backs in the Prem. Where's his replacement? It's not a big name. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I think. They have spent money. It's just they haven't spent it on ready-made players, I should call it. They've kind of spent it on potential.
Yeah, potential. Yeah, 100%.
Now you've seen the fruits of that, but you're at the end of the season, when they needed it at the beginning of the season, they're all just learning, finding their way in the Premier League, and it's hard,
I generally think, just going off topic a little bit, I generally think if they put Jose Sarr in goal at the start of the season, would they be in this position? Actually, that's a goalkeeper I would go for.
Clown, mate.
I like him. I really do.
I've seen him make so many clangers. I'm like, forget that guy.
Sam Johnson's even worse. So
he's got to be one of the keepers. I said to you the other day in the pod, and I'm put it out there. Is there a worse keeper in the Premier League than Sanchez? Jose Sarr is one of them that's definitely worse than him.
No, Vicario's the worst.
Yeah, there's about one or two that's below Sanchez, and I think
Leno might be there soon. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But yeah, like I said, Wolves fans, let us know what you're thinking, because can Rob Edwards do the unthinkable and save Wolves? And you know what? I think it's on. I'm looking at their fixtures. Some of them are tough, but they're playing people around them. So they've got Brentford away, tough game. West Ham in a few weeks' time. Listen,
They already beat West Ham at home.
West Ham away. If they used to beat West Ham to drag them back, keep them there, then they got Leeds. We thought Leeds were out of it. Leeds aren't out of it. The way everyone's winning now, they're not out of it. So they got Leeds away. Then they got Tottenham at home. That's a relegation battle right there. Because by that time, we think Tottenham will be in the relegation zone. Sunderland at home.
Be there tonight.
Away. Sunderland at home. Brighton away. Wolves at home. Fulham at home. Last game of the season. Burnley, Wolves. By that time, it's either Burnley going to be at the bottom of the Prem or Wolves have made it out. Do you know that? It could turn, because if they've got some momentum, they've got a bit of, they're carrying a bit.
They've got some fight.
Now.
They've got some fight. They're showing that now. And even in games that they've lost, they've showed a little bit of fight and passion. And that's what you need. Sometimes you just need that. I hope they do it. I really do. I really feel sorry for Wolves this year. I hope they do it. I hope you guys do it. But we want to hear from you, Wolves fans. Let us know in the comments below. The mind of a football fan is the most deluded, but do you think you guys can stay up?
Right. I'm sure Nottingham Forest fans think they can do it. They can stay up, because last night they pulled back twice from going behind against Man City. It was a 2-2 draw. Obviously, they're twice behind. They came back, and Victor Pereira, not the podcast's favourite person, but he's starting to get a bit of a tune out of him. That was a good point last night. A really good point.
Oh, of course it is. Any time against City is a good point. Even when they're not in great form.
Showed a lot of heart and character to come back twice. I saw it at 1-1, and I thought, okay, 2-1 City. I thought, right, that might be it. They might run away now. 3-1, 4-1. They didn't. They couldn't. Yeah, that was big. But yeah, they've given themselves a better chance. Everyone that gets a point now drags Tottenham further down into it. As we can say,
100%.
So it's not looking good for Tottenham.
They're not just losing; they're getting absolutely creamed. 3-1, 3-1. They're losing.
By a manager who's got no Premier League experience, hasn't grasped it, hasn't played in the Premier League. So what do you get when you get someone like that? Not a lot. I'm hearing that it's really hard for him to motivate the players because he can't transmit his energy across. He looks a bit of a doomy, gloomy type of figure. So I don't know what they was expecting. Do you know what I mean? To motivate those players. Because if you look at him, you hear him talk, he sounds quite...
He's very monotone.
That's what I'm saying. So how is he going to come in as a foreign coach to motivate those players, to get them up and say, look, guys, come on.
I didn't like the fact that he blamed Raul Jimenez for his team being so crap on Sunday. I mean, come on now. You can't just say that we cheated. Your team are poor.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I think he gets sacked before the end of the season, personally.
I don't think he should have been given the job, personally. Man City dropped points, but Arsenal extended their lead at the top of the Premier League to 7 points. And with a 1-0 victory over Brighton. 1-0 to the Arsenal. They'll take it. One step nearer to that title, man.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be one of the most boringest sides to win the Prem. You know my thoughts on it.
Well, there's been a fallout this week.
Good result for Arsenal. I'm sure Fabian Hertzler will be annoyed because he was stating the fact that Arsenal didn't really want to play football and they were boring and there was only one side that were playing football, and that was Brighton. What do you think? Do you think that's entirely true, or?
Bro, it's a tough one, because listen, I understand. For football purists, we're all football fans, aren't we? So we want to see nice football, but there's a big but in there. Arsenal fans don't care how they win it. They don't care. I wouldn't care how someone wins it, because listen, winning trophies in football, I know it's different. Like I said, I support a top 6 club, so it's different. So we win trophies, but when you're not winning trophies, or even as a big club to win a trophy, it's a big thing. Sometimes the Champions League final for Liverpool against Tottenham, terrible final, 2-0, terrible, one of the worst finals I've seen.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Do you think I care? No. On my Liverpool top, there's another star, which means we've got 6 Champions Leagues. No one ever goes back and says, oh, it was a terrible final though. No one's bothered, bro. The Arsenal fans, like I said for you, they've been deprived of success. They don't care how they win it. I've got friends who are Arsenal fans, and I remember talking about them to this last year when, a couple of years ago, I thought they were playing the best football in the Premier League. I'll be honest. Martinelli bombed out one wing, Saka playing really well. I thought he was playing better football than City. I was scared to play Arsenal. Guess what? Playing that amazing, pretty beautiful game, they never won nothing.
No,
And
it doesn't. It
I said
doesn't.
to my friends at that time, beginning last year, I said, look, what is it? Amazing football or crap football? I'm not saying their football's crap. It's a bit boring. Set piece, ole, ole, but boring football and win the title. And they said, listen, we've been through our phase of playing attractive football and it won them nothing. So why wouldn't they win it if they have to win it boring, set piece, whatever it is? There's people, I know Hertzler wasn't happy. I've heard Obi Mikel saying that they're cheating because of this, that. They can't be cheating because it's not getting called. If it's not in the rule book and it's not getting called, they're not cheating. If they're getting let get away with it, that's not their fault. That's the referee's decisions to make those calls. Jose Mourinho's team that conceded, was it 13 goals in that championship?
Yeah.
13. Listen, that was part of the bus football. No one looks back now and says, oh, that was the most boring team because they weren't playing much football. No one cares. When you look back on the records, it says Chelsea, whatever it was, 205 or 203, whatever it was, that's all it says. It doesn't say they play boring football and this, and this. No one cares. In 5 years' time, the Arsenal fans will look back and say, right, that's a title for us.
And most football fans will say, "Oh, Arsenal won the league that year."
That's what they're going to say. They're not going to talk about what happened afterwards. They'll probably talk about how bad we was. Or Liverpool were terrible, that title defence was one of the worst ever. Do you get what I mean? No one's going to talk about how bad it is. I just think a lot of people are being quite sour about it. People don't want them to win. I get that. Fair enough. Everyone's got their own opinion. But just don't... Listen, there was at times... I come from Jurgen Klopp football, which is hard, exciting, fast-paced, this, that. Last year, I'll be honest, there was times, if my TikTok, I even said, it was kind of boring watching us winning it because we'd go 2-0 up and that's the end of the game. Game's finished.
Yeah,
Half-time,
it's pragmatic football,
it's
really, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you catch a niche and it wins, if I knew that we came out and in the first 10 minutes of every second half we scored and we'd win the game, I'll take it. And I'm sure you would as well, bro.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
You'll take it. So I think it's a bit harsh. I don't care what people say. It's not the greatest to watch. I don't care. As an Arsenal fan, any Arsenal fan, they will take it. And you know what? I don't blame them. Because if they said to us that we've had a terrible season. If they said to us, you'd play the worst football ever and win a Champions League,
you would take it.
I'm
100%.
taking it, bro, and I'm happy. I'm celebrating like I played the best football, Barca style. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a bit much. I think everyone's taking it a little bit. You know, obviously Mikel's a Chelsea player, ex-player Chelsea lad, but I think that whole cheating vibes and this and that, I think it's all a bit much. It's a bit sour grapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, he's a Chelsea head. They're going to be biased.
Yeah.
So.
Top 5 race is well and truly on. Man United lost last night for the first time under Michael Carrick. Newcastle played well. They were down to 10 men, but United couldn't break them down, bro. And in the end, they got hit with a sucker punch. Do you see the goal?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Oh,
when Newcastle turn up and they play, they really do play football, especially at home at St James's Park.
I think that's what's annoying to the Newcastle fans because on their day, Newcastle can give anyone in the Premier League. We see them beat Arsenal twice last year. They're beating us. They can beat anyone in the Premier League. So we know the quality they've got with Isak or without Isak, they've got quality to beat anyone. And I think that's the problem with Newcastle inconsistency that annoys the fans more because they know what they can do. When they turn up and they're up for it, and with that 12th man as well at home.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I agree with that. I mean, St James's Park is a tough place to go.
Definitely. But Eddie Howe under pressure though, bro, because they're sitting 13th.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
12th. They're sitting 12th on 39 points. Champions League place is 48. So I think, if I'm honest, Champions League's gone.
Yeah, for them, yeah.
Champions League's gone. So
it is what it is. They've had a few seasons of being in the Championship, League, and they've got a taste for that. If they qualified for Europa League or Conference, I mean, would it really be a bad thing? With that squad that they've got,
ready for Champions League football.
No, they could potentially win the Conference League or the Europa League.
I think we've seen that in the last couple of years with Newcastle. It sways. They're in the Champions League and the league form falls off. They do okay. Look, they're in the last 16 of the Champions League. But next season now, when they're not in the Champions League, they're not qualified. They'll do really well in the league. They'll finish 4th or 5th. And then there's no Champions League. And then they get it back again and the squad's not ready. So they keep on doing that. Swinging back and forth as a pendulum, you know? I think there's PSR problems. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there could be some type of dispensation in England for if you're in the Champions League. Does that make sense? So normally, but if you're in the Champions League, your squad size can be a bit bigger, or you can have a bit more money because you've got to have a bigger squad. Same with Villa.
Oh yeah, to compete, yeah.
Would you reckon?
Yeah, to compete, yeah, definitely.
Because Villa are struggling the same way. 1 minute they're in the Champions League, the minute they're in the Champions League, they can't. Their league form doesn't struggles. It's like they can't balance both.
No, I agree. Clubs like Villa and Newcastle,
I
because
feel
of
sorry for him, bro. I forgot sorry.
yeah, because of the PSR issues, they're not able to compete 100% what they would like to. It's a shame, really. But Man City, they can spend half the world on players and nothing happens to them. Just annoying.
Yeah, sorry. Going back to Man United though, that was Carrick's first loss. They struggled last night, and I think part of the problem with Man United is obviously he's trying to instill a style of football. And it's looked good, but a lot of teams that they've played, obviously the Arsenals, the Man City that they beat, those are teams that attack you and go for you.
Mm.
When you play a team that's got a low block or they're going to sit back, then they struggle like they did under Amorim. But if you looked at, like I said, who they've beaten or who they've got past the teams, it's more teams that will try and win the game.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, that guy, he's definitely not getting his hair cut at the moment. Might be another 2 years yet before they win, what, 5 in a row or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, Man United have been much better under Carrick.
They have.
But we'll see in the coming weeks. We'll see next game if it was just a new manager's bounce.
This is what I'm saying. It was just new managers bounce, but everyone that was getting excited, like we said, Ole did well in his first few games as well. We can't just get carried away and everyone's like, "I'll give him the job and this and that." Carrick's at the wheel. We can't just United fans. I'm sure they've curbed that after last night because they're realizing that new managers bounce, and all it takes is when you get a new manager, they're all trying to impress everyone. That's why do you get the new managers bounce after what is it 7 or 8 games now? That one, if they all just drop 5%. Then that press alone just stops, or whatever it is, that 5% from each player, that drops the whole team 20%. And that's where you lose your productivity, you lose your output. You know what I'm saying? And it happens,
100%. But Man United fans, you know enough of them. They're constantly taking Deludamol. So you know what I mean. They're constantly taking Deludamol. They're one of the most deluded fan bases in the Premier League.
That's jokes.
I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, that's funny. But they're still third. They're still looking strong.
They do have a good squad.
They've got a good squad. They have got a good squad. But you have to remember as well, everyone's saying this and that. They're playing one game a week. They're out of all the competition. They're not in Europe. So you can prepare your team and focus all your focus on. So they should be beating Newcastle, really, because
Yeah, on paper, yes.
you see what I'm saying? Because they've got 1 week to focus just on Newcastle, and that's it. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah. Just a quick one. Do you think Carrick's going to get the job permanently based on what's happened, or do you think they'll look for someone that more of a name to take him?
I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it's a safe option for Man United. Preferably that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would want to hire him because he don't like foreign people, does he?
Well, he
So
says that.
yeah,
He says that, but
yeah. The guy's not the full shilling, is he?
no, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think he's part of the problem, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, all this cost cutting, they reckon they're saving money now. So we'll have to see how that turns out, how that pans out in the end. But yeah, we'll leave it there, Nick. Appreciate it for jumping on, my bro.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully,
Yesterday for
get.
taking Fulham, it was a good game, good atmosphere. Appreciate
You're
it, man.
welcome. You're welcome. Hopefully, winning ways on Sunday. Marco Silva might put the under 21s out. You never know.
Can't be worse. It can't be worse. Of course, of course. All right, Nick. Appreciate it for jumping on today, my bro. Thank you.
You're welcome. No worries. Guys, get subscribing. We need some more subscribers. We just hit 1K, so we need to get more. But thanks to everyone that's supporting. Really appreciate it. We appreciate all the love.
Just like what he says, guys. Jump on, subscribe, like, share, and follow, and send it to your people, guys. Thanks a lot for supporting the pod, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.